over that.
Welcome to this edition of the Summer Showcase. I'm your host, Michael Washington, here with Shady Sports Network. We got a special guest today. I have former University of Arizona quarterback Kevin Doyle Jr., who is now currently signed with the European League of Football's Fehervar Enthroners, as well as various other European teams as well throughout the course of your career. First and foremost, I want to start off with saying thank you for joining me. Like I said beforehand, we're having a little bit of severe weather through here, so hopefully the connection stays strong through it. So I apologize to anybody who watches this if you're watching it. We're going to do our best to clean it up. But thank you again, Kevin. I know it's late over there, so I appreciate you joining me.
I said, no worries. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. And excited.
So first and foremost, I had to do a little bit. I remember you when you played at Arizona. I do remember that, but I had to go back a little bit. You were once the top quarterback prospect in Washington, D.C.?
Yes, I was. And then
in high school?
Quickly after that, Caleb Williams came along and took that crown from me.
Caleb Williams, he's a good one for sure. That's definitely a definitive player to take that crown from you for sure.
Sure, but I Caleb is a nice kid, and I played against Caleb twice, and my team beat his team twice, and it was nice. We ended up winning the championship off of that. But Caleb's a great player for sure, and I'm excited to see him play. This year coming up, and for years to come.
Yeah, for sure. I think that they found something out there in Southern California with him, with the transfer, obviously with Lincoln Riley and whatnot. But Kevin, I wanted to talk a little bit about European football, for you specifically. How did you get your foot in the door for the European leagues? Was it like through an agent, or did you just happen to grind and send out tape and land in with a connection?
So honestly, the way it worked was I hurried up and I graduated from University of Arizona in 3 years. So I graduated in 3, and I had 3 years left of eligibility. And so, I really kind of gambled on myself because, I saw the landscape of things, and I, looking around, said, okay, I could go to a, smaller school potentially in grad transfer, seeing that I never played in college. I did not touch the field. And for that, there's a lot of reasons I could say, but none of them really on the field. And, I think that I showed that through playing. And so, I had 3 years left, and I said, you know what, screw this. I'm going to go write my own story. And so someone told me about this league, about this website, and it's called europlayers.com. Right. So you go on there, you create a profile, you upload film, you upload your playing resume, you do all that. And, teams throughout the world will reach out to you. And so this was in 2021. So I signed up, around September. And I told myself that, the first team I get, I'm going to take that offer. I'm going to go play just because I need to get back on the field. I need to keep playing. And so whatever shape or form that is, I'll go do it. I'm in Europe. I don't know the landscape of things yet. I didn't know anybody that played overseas at the time. So I was, I had DM'd a few guys that I had found via Instagram and stuff that had done it previously, asked like, hey, am I doing the right thing? And, they gave me a little bit of a guidance, but to be fair, they were a little bit older, and they were kind of on the way out. Historically speaking, people in Europe have, been kind of over the hill per se in their career, a little bit older and a little bit late in their 20s. Mm-hmm. So they, kind of are over here. That is as almost like a last hurrah, in my opinion. But I was looking to change that that landscape and use it to not end my career, but rather almost re-jump it and re-energize it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean that's a smart strategy of betting on yourself and writing your own story in the manner that you choose to write it in. And I think that's really smart, to be honest with
I mean, it'd be ignorant to say there isn't, right? Because you look at basketball, and the way the world is right now, right? I personally would take the best European starting five in the NBA over a American starting five in the NBA. Like, those guys are great athletes, and so a lot of times I feel that Americans get the idea that they're the best and there's all that they are everything. The best athletes everywhere in the world, and that may be true in some categories, but there are certainly a lot of other good athletes doing other things on different continents, in different countries.
Yeah, I mean, and I've just started getting into the European League of Football this year myself. I'm diving in for the first time, probably in my. I kind of stumbled across it last year a little bit through social medias, and
Okay.
I've really enjoyed the product that I've seen so far. So my knowledge is a little limited, but is there a drastic change between playing actually here in the States and playing overseas as far as like playing style, any type of small differences there that you've noticed?
So the rules are NFL rules, and so like NFL hashes, NFL numbers, NFL rules in my league, the European League of Football, the
Hmm.
ELF, you can call it as well. And so those are NFL rules for the most part. With different special teams, different kickoff rules, which is interesting. And I'm not sure if you've seen that or anything, but balls kicked and everyone lines up, I believe, at the 35.
Yeah,
You have
I think
10
it's
guys on
the
the line.
I think it's the XFL kickoff
Yes,
rules.
XFL, exactly.
Yep.
Same idea.
Yep.
And so, other than that, same rules. And then in some of the other countries, I've played in Spain and Austria as well. Though and Germany as well. So Spain, Austria, and Germany. If you play for those leagues, then those rules tend to be collegiate rules for the most part.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was just curious if you had seen any of the tweaks. How's the language barriers? I mean, is there any tough barriers there or
I mean, honestly, it depends upon your team. It depends upon your city. It depends upon a couple of things. When I first arrived in Europe, my first team was the Zaragoza Hurricanes, which is Zaragoza itself, or if you were to speak to a Spaniard, it'd be Zaragoza. They, you know,
okay?
they that being the fourth largest city in Spain, behind Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia. It has no real major import or export, right? So in your head, you might be thinking like, well, all right, what does that have to do with anything? Well, it means that they don't really, have to speak English. They kind of deal with everything amongst themselves. And so when I first arrived there, I learned that majority of the city, I would say, did not speak English. So being an American, an ignorant American, I would say, I did not pay attention during Spanish class, and there was no real application and no real applicable knowledge for me that I needed to. So showing up, I knew zero Spanish, but the guys, for the most part, I would say, spoke English. If they did not speak it, then they could understand it for the most part, especially American English, because they watch American television, listen to American music. They understand the accent. Sometimes you get into the UK and Ireland and Scotland, those accents get the non-native speakers thrown off, and I don't blame them
Yeah,
because it throws me off too.
I would say they're a lot thicker probably too. So
Absolutely. So, I mean,
yeah.
depending upon the city, really just depends. Then for instance, I went from Zaragoza to Dusseldorf, Germany, which is geographically 40 minutes from Cologne, even shorter potentially, about 2 hours by train to Amsterdam in the Netherlands, I think it's about 4 hours to Paris.
Okay.
So it's Western, and so they spoke a lot more English. Dusseldorf itself is an established city, so they spoke a lot of English. And my general rule of thumb, though, when I travel, is if you're over the age of 40, I just won't engage in conversation with you. I won't try to talk to you because chances are you don't know English and you did not really grow up with the internet and YouTube and all the other things that kids nowadays have, and so you weren't exposed to English as early as other people may have been.
Right.
So my general rule of thumb is like, all right, if I'm out and need directions, or if I, need to know something, I'll tend to look for a younger person rather than someone, maybe a little bit older, because my chances of them knowing English are a lot higher.
Have you picked up uh, other languages along your travels over there as well? Have you? I mean, probably. Are you fluent in any of them, or?
I mean, absolutely. So I wouldn't dare to say I'm fluent because then it's funny though. When I lived in Spain the first time around, I became knowledgeable of it, and I could understand it, and pleasantries, small talk, that kind of thing. And then when I went back a second time, I was in Barcelona, and I really feel like I built upon my Spanish that I already knew. And so I feel like my Spanish is a lot better. I wouldn't say fluent, but I can hold conversations with pretty much everyone, and so I would say it's a working proficiency if I had to put a level on it.
Okay.
And so, but my Spanish is very, very good, I would say, and then my German is not very good, but I can understand sometimes. It really just depends upon who I'm speaking to and what the topic is. And then Austrians speak German as well. But now being in Hungary, Hungarian, I know zero. It's completely different. And to be honest with you, I honestly would like to learn the language. And being here, I try to listen and pick up on a few things. But even the local guys here are like, "Listen, like you're not going to get it, so don't even try. Like, we'll speak English with you."
Yeah.
Another funny thing is being overseas that most of the time your head coach will be American, or if he's not American, then he is fluent in English. So when he addresses the team, it'll be addressed in English. But
Mhm.
when assistant coaches speak, most of the time they are local guys. They are from whatever nation you're in, and so their English can sometimes be spotty,
Yeah.
depending upon where you are. So a lot of times when a coach is saying something and he says it in not English, right? At first I was like, what is he saying? Like I tap the guy next to me and be like, hey, fill me in. Like what's going on?
Right.
And but then it took a few times for a veteran a veteran American to kind of tell me like, hey, if it's not in English, it's not for you. Like
Right.
it's not pertaining to you. It's not whatever. He goes, if it's important and it'll be in English. And so I said, okay. So honestly, that's really taken a lot of weight off of my shoulders, and allowed me to relax and be like, okay, that's a nice added bonus. But I mean, when you listen, right, when you're just indoctrinated into any culture, you tend to pick up on things, and it's been an awesome experience overall.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I was always curious about how that would work or how they would do it. I figured a lot of them were probably bilingual or multiple spoke multiple
Trilingual,
languages,
quadlingual. These
trilingual.
guys
Yeah.
are like, it's ridiculous. I mean, for instance, I have a good buddy now. His name is David. He played offensive line for me in Austria, and so I mean, his story is really unique, but really not as unique as you might think. So
Yep.
he is half Venezuelan and um, half Italian. So his mother is from Venezuela, his father is from Italy, and so they've lived in both Venezuela and Italy. So, and then he studies in Germany and Austria, and so they live, on the Austrian and Italian border, excuse me. And so, right off the bat, he speaks Spanish with his mother. He speaks Italian with his father.
Oh, that's
He
awesome.
speaks German in school, and he learned French as well in school.
Oh,
And then,
good for him.
he's learned a bunch of other languages along the way. And so, I mean, just like incredible. And so I used to think like it was the craziest thing in the world to be bilingual and it would be so impressive. But the more I travel outside of America, the more I realize it's like uncommon to at least not be, a working knowledge of a second language. And, it's fascinating to see.
Yeah, I need to sharpen my skills up. I took 2 years of French and 2 years of Spanish, and I don't remember much from either of them. But I would love to learn it for sure. So that's incredible. Now you have had quite the journey. So you've had an unbeaten season
Mm-hmm.
as a starting quarterback, and then you had a 2-6 season, uh, but were named MVP
Mm-hmm.
of the league. In my experience, have never seen a losing record at that, get an MVP. Were you shocked about this, or was it just was your season just that much better than anybody else, or how did that come about? Because it's very weird and rare to see a losing record with an MVP player.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And so the 2-6 record that you're referring to was with the Zaragoza Hurricanes. And so that was a unique season for me. That was my inaugural season in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
That was from January to April of 2022. And so I was there, and this is my first time playing outside the US. And so, I was fired up. I was excited. I was ready. And my first 2 games, I had 7 touchdowns and then 6 touchdowns in those 2 games respectively. And then I actually broke my foot, but I continued to play, and I didn't tell anybody. And I just kind of, like took care of what I had to, and, iced it, did that kind of thing when we weren't practicing. Because what people don't realize is Americans, we overwork a lot. And so, be that as it may, in Europe, we only practice 3 times a week, because on your team, you'll have guys that have day jobs as well. And so and they can't always make practice, whatever. So I was named MVP of that first season. We went 2-6, beat the same team twice. We beat the Mallorca Voltors, the island of Mallorca, which is next to Ibiza. And, we struggled. But I, luckily gained the respect of the league and put a stamp on Europe, in my opinion, and did well. And then because of that, I was able to return to the league the following year, and I returned to a more storied program, a historically established program in Badalona, the Badalona Drags, which is the northern part of Barcelona, of the city. So played there, and that's a season that you're referring to, and doing very well. And more talent around me, more English around me, bigger city. So overall, it was a great experience.
Yeah, for sure. I was reading that. And I was shocked to just see it. So I figured I had to ask about it. Now, as we know, the European League of Football has 6 expansion teams that came in this year. The Enthroners being one of them, struggling this season to start off with, which is expected for a lot of expansion teams. What about the Enthroners, when you got the call, were you like, let's go there and see if we can turn this around? Or was it just because you were looking to play because at the time you were a free agent? How did that come about as far as the connection was concerned with the Enthroners?
So with the Enthroners, I had been finishing up a season in Austria in the AFL, the Austrian Football League. And actually at the time, I due to various of things, at first I didn't play 3 games for the Raiders when I first signed there in Austria. The Tyrol Raiders is the team. So Tyrol is a state basically in Austria. It's a area of land basically, size of to put in perspective, probably northern New Jersey.
Okay.
So North Jersey, whatever you may think of it as, that's probably the right size.
Okay.
So
I've been to North Jersey before. I don't talk about it.
As south as you want to go, or as north as you want to go, you're probably close. And It's right in it's right in the Austrian Alps, so a very beautiful area. But anyway, we had basically the Raiders did everything the right way. I really enjoyed my time there, so therefore, I had no working visa, and so in order to get that, I had to kind of wait my turn with games. So sat out for some games. Then finally, visa issues were cleared up, and then I was able to play one game with them, and I threw for 467 yards, I believe,
I
and
was
3 touchdowns.
I was gonna say it
So
was pretty impressive.
thank you. So nice game, but came at a cost because I partially tore my MCL and my meniscus at the same time.
Oh,
So therefore, I was out for the rest of the season, basically. And I, was rehabbing that. And luckily, there's a lot of great doctors in Innsbruck, Austria, which is the specific city. Actually, there's an Olympic facility with Olympic doctors. So I was seeing one of the best doctors in Europe, and knee doctors specifically. A lot of professional soccer players go there, Olympic athletes. So was blessed with that opportunity, and got a little lucky, honestly. And so rehab that, and right as the season was ending and my rehab was coming to an end, the Enthroners reached out, and it's just a great opportunity for me in the ELF, in the highest stage in Europe. So regardless of record, regardless of everything else, they showed me, the layout, the plan of what they want to do here, and the infrastructure's there. They have facilities, they have the backing of the city, they have the players, they have all that. And so I was just like, let's go, let's, take the opportunity. So at the time, they were 0-5 and had gone through basically 2 quarterbacks in one season. And so I would be being the third. I was like, okay, let me, go here and try and, turn things around. And so we're working on it. Last game, we played the Berlin Thunder. And that was after, a very short week of practice, getting used to the playbook and everything. This weekend, we actually have a bye. So we're able to, practice and really install or really implement the basics more. And so I'm becoming more familiar with the offense. And overall, the guys are getting more familiar with me and, my style of play. And so, we're looking to turn it around in essentially 2 weeks versus the Prague Lions.
Yeah, that's that the timing of that actually ended up working out really well for you as far. I mean, the short week last week, obviously Berlin has one of the tougher defenses in the league. So, that being your first game on a short week was probably, not exactly going to go as the plan or what you had hoped anyways, but the timing of your bye week coming in now and being able to implement something. I did see something this morning. Jay Griffin was let go or has left the team or was released. I'm not sure how that happened there or what happened there, but he was one of the more productive wide receivers for the team, at least leading up until this point. How do you feel comfortable that you guys are going to be able to replace production at that level? Was there an injury that I was unaware of that came back? I mean, you don't have to necessarily discuss it, and we can cut this if you want, by the way. But I just wanted to throw it out there because I thought it was a surprise to me. It kind of shocked me a little bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, getting here and just getting to know everybody, and I mean, I was living with Jay. We lived in the same apartment, and so he was one of the first guys I met. Honestly, we had exchanged notes a few weeks prior as well. He was a really nice guy to me, and when you are playing high level football and especially midpoint of the season thereabouts, week 5, week 6 area, no one's 100%, right? No one's 100%. Yeah. So everyone's kind of dinged up. But the roster changes, whatever that, came from, people above me. And so I honestly was focused on whoever was on the field and whoever I was going to be throwing the ball to. Now, mind you, Jay being the other American import, right? Because there's a rule where you're only allowed to have 4 American imports on a team. We call them imports. An import being a player that their home country, their residence, where you're a citizen, their country has an established professional league and collegiate league. So there's a few countries. There's America, there's Canada, there's Mexico, and Japan. Okay. Those are the four countries per se. Might be missing one, but I think those are the only four in which that they are considered an import, like four of them. Yep. And then you get six. Then you get 6 European imports. So that means that you can take 6 other players from around the EU and bring them into your team and do that. So so in regards to Jay, I wish him well and everything. And so his release came as a surprise to me as well. But, I trust the coaches here and I trust the front office that, they have plans in place. I know they already have a guy they got coming out. He'll arrive this weekend. But I'm not at liberty to say right now. But he played high-level college ball as well. So, him and I have exchanged notes. And I'm looking forward to, getting to know him and playing ball and, being able to rely upon him as well as the, other guys around me here.
Yeah, I didn't want to put you in a tough spot there. It wasn't my intention. It just
no, all good. All good.
By all means, I wish Jay the best. I loved watching him play this year, and I know it's the nature of the business. It's the sport, it's just the way that it goes, and hopefully for him, he's able to land back on his feet soon and whatnot. Kevin, I'm going to let you get out of here. I just wanted to thank you again. I know it's late over where you are, and I'll let you try to rest up a little bit. I know you have a bye week and, you only practice 3 days a week, but still, regardless of all that, it is late. So I want to make sure that you can get out of here and get your rest.
No worries.
So, good luck to you for the rest of the season, man. And again, thank you so much, for joining me here. And I hope you guys are able to turn this around for sure.
I appreciate it. And, thanks for having me. I definitely think we can turn it around and we will turn it around. We have great coaches, great team. Honestly, so the Enthroners were actually an organization prior to this year. And they played in the Hungarian league. So they played in the Hungarian league, right. Won a bunch of championships. They actually played in the Austrian league as well, Austrian 2. So like the second division, they won a bunch of championships. So for all intents and purposes, they're jumping 2 levels up. And
all right.
So they're established. They have nice facilities, nice everything else. So it just takes time. I mean, for instance, if you look at the league, Stuttgart Surge, they had not won a game in the last 2 years, and now this year they are undefeated and kicking ass per se. So it just takes some time, honestly. Getting the right things in place, but I'm sure they'll figure it out, and we'll get it done. And a lot of ball left to be played.
Yeah, for sure. Again, thank you for your time here at Summer Showcase, and I appreciate it. I'm just trying to be an American, bringing ELF football to American people here at the Shady Sports Network. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. Changer. I'm a game changer.